How's it going, everyone? I'm Sir James, coming at you guys with another custom lightsaber review. This time we have one for Ezra's third lightsaber, as we've seen in the live-action Ahsoka series. Some of you might be thinking, wait a minute, didn't I just do this review yesterday? And yes, you are correct. However, I made a few mistakes in that, including the maker of the hilt. So for that, I do apologize to you, the viewers, and the companies that I may have affected along the way. I am human after all, and it should have been my responsibility to ask questions before making my review rather than assume. So I do own up to my mistakes, and therefore that's why I'm redoing this video for you and the fans. Now, this particular lightsaber was obtained through VadersSabers. However, as far as the maker of the hilt is through Nexus, which I think did an excellent job not only with hilt, but also with the chassis system in use. Let's go ahead and start by giving you guys a closer look at the hilt, starting from a distance. Here it is on one side, and here it is on the other. As far as the control box here, there are lighting effects when the saber is on, and we'll get to that as we go along. Starting off with the emitter, it may seem familiar because yes, that is Kanan's emitter, not the one that he was using, but it was his spare, as apparently, according to Huyang, there was only ever two emitters of the style, one of which Kanan used, and the other which now Ezra has used for his build, which took inspiration from Kanan's lightsaber, and I think it pays homage to his character in a very solid way. Here we have control box, the bottom section with, of course, our D-ring, and to get access to the chassis, you'll be moving this bottom ring here. So very cool indeed. Now to get access to the chassis, you're going to go ahead and remove this bottom section as noted, just like that. And then you go ahead and slide out the removable chassis like so. Let me go ahead and set the saber down. And here is the chassis in hand. It's a very nice and well-built chassis, easy access to the Profi board, and also the micro SD card, of course with the help of tweezers with a little rubber tip. We have pin connections here, which mind you that these are not connecting to the blade itself, but a internal connection point, which is pretty cool. On the other side we have our USB-C charging, removable battery, and of course the kill switch. From my understanding through Nexus is that this particular chassis design is new and is going to be on future hilts, at least that are able to support it in some way, shape, or form, which I think is really cool and excellent. The other neat thing about this chassis is it's also got some extra little lighting effects going on. Let me go ahead and turn this on. So you got LED lightings here on the sides and the upper pin connections too. And I think that is very well done. Now, of course, the lighting effect will change depending on what Saber Fonts are in use. Like I said, that one was the Kylo Ren Saber Font, so of course it's doing the Kylo Ren style effect to it. And it does change along the way, which I'll try to showcase that a little bit later as we progress along in this review. Now, I also want to make note that as far as what I'm showcasing today, Saber font wise, that this is all default through VadersSabers, so I did no changes whatsoever. And what's cool is that also in the box, which by the way, speaking of box, this came in, and I haven't seen this box in a while to be quite honest, this larger box here with the combination locks that you could change yourself if you wanted to, but comes with the blade, all the necessary accessories, and this is a one button setup hilt. And you get these nifty little cards in here that will give you a very nice clean walkthrough for the hilts on how to access everything, color changing, saber effects, force, musics, and so much more. So these cards are great, especially for people who are unfamiliar in how to use profis, especially a one button profi. This is good to have, and that you can slip into your wallet and carry it with you. That way you can show off to your friends, or next time you go to the Disney parks or something, you'll have that in use. So I think that's very useful indeed. Now, before we insert a blade, which by the way, if you are curious, the blade size that it's going to use, it's going to use the 1-inch blades and not the 7/8. When I first took it out of the hilt out of the box, I was assuming that it was going to be a 7/8 blade, but it's actually a 1-inch blade. So it's good on that. Now, before I insert a blade for the hilt, I just want to kind of give a quick recap as to how we got here, where Ezra now has a third lightsaber, especially for those of you who are unfamiliar with the character. Well, Star Wars Rebels pretty much takes place years after the events of Order 66. The Empire rules the galaxy, the Jedi is being hunted down by the Inquisitors, and well, clone troopers are replaced by stormtroopers and so on. So Ezra grew up during a time where he didn't grow up with the Jedi Temple or anything like that. So he used his own gadgets and tools to get by in life until eventually he stumbles upon the Ghost Crew and has a potential chance to become a Jedi. Eventually he obtains his own kyber crystal, builds a very unique lightsaber, which is nicknamed like the staple gun saber, which is a combination of a saber and a blaster built into one. Very cool and unique, but fitting for the character. Eventually, his first lightsaber gets destroyed, and he constructs a new lightsaber. His second lightsaber is a growing point for the character because now he's learning to become a true Jedi. Eventually, he gives his lightsaber to Sabine Wren and tasks her with an important mission as he was dealing with the threat of Thrawn and trying to save his homeworld, which pretty much worked successfully. Years later, of course, we now have the live action Ahsoka. And by years later, I mean like in terms of where the timeline takes place. We get to the point where, Sabine was trying to hand Ezra his previous lightsaber, his second lightsaber, which he's like, no, you keep it, I gave it to you. And, he, makes the gesture that the Force is his ally, that's all he needs, to then quickly building a lightsaber till we get to this point. And I say quickly because I feel like there's a lot of scenes that were cut from the show that felt like should have been left in, but that's a topic for another story. But his third lightsaber here pays homage to his previous master, Kanan Jarrus, in a very good way, and some people may say it's more of a copy and paste of Kanan's lightsaber, but honestly, it's different and unique in its own way, where the two stand out from one another in a very good way. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and insert a blade. As far as the blade goes, there are going to be a total of 3 blade retention screws. You have one here in the center, and then you have one on each side here, or you're going to go ahead and tighten to secure that blade to make sure it's not flying all over the place, because the last thing that you want is for your blade to fly away. Now, I will mention that as far as the blade goes, this actually sits in quite deep. So I'm just going to go ahead and hold it where my finger is for the end point. So all this right here sits into the hilt. So a very solid threshold right there. So if you're wanting to duel, which if you do, I'd recommend something like a heavy grade blade to do so. But you could. Like I said, the blade sits in nice and deep. And I don't think you have to worry about it, falling off. Unless if you don't do a good job securing the points, then there's that. And go ahead and secure these. And then we go ahead and turn off these lights here. So that way you guys can see it in action. Now, as I mentioned before, the included Saber Fonts here are what you're going to get by default through VaderSabers. So I added nothing, I changed nothing. I'm showing you exactly what you will get if you order this hilt. So let's go ahead and activate font number 1, which, by the way, if you're curious, is there an Ezra font on here? I don't remember, actually. We're going to cycle through that all together. So our first font here is Kylo Ren. But yeah, like I said, it is extremely comfortable. And the effects, as you can see there, look great. I know my camera makes it look like an orangish kind of an off tone, but it's a nice vibrant red in person. Like I said, we have the twist on, twist off, which, by the way, that is a very quick off mechanic there. I don't know if it's got thrust. Let's go ahead and check. Oh, maybe it does. Nope. Okay. For some reason it's working when I thrust backwards, but not forward. No. There we go. So it's got also the thrust gesture control. And I think that's it. So twist on and off and thrust is what you have for activations. Going to font number 2.
Hello, the Jedi.
We have one for Rey, not Skywalker, but we're not touching on that subject. And here is the control box. As I mentioned, it does light up. So this one's got a static color here with Rey.
The dark sword.
The dark sword, or dark saber. This one's also a static light there. With a different effect this time around. So my blade isn't messed up. It's the effect pattern on here where it does that when you swing, which I'm not a fan of that effect, by the way.
Ascension.
Very nice. Telling you, I'm gonna hit that camera. Maybe that's why I'm standing back here. Actually, if the blade didn't sit as far as deep in here, I probably would have hit it.
You and I will be working much more closely from now on.
I feel like that's what happened to me when I made a mistake. Not exactly, but you kind of get the idea. So, like I said, here, as you can see, the control box lighting is turning red to indicate to match with our blade style here. Let me know if I hit you guys yet.
Good for nothing, Jedi.
That one's red as well, indicating on the control box to match with the blade style. And then of course, lock-up effects there. Blaster deflex. Now this one here, so instead of that greenish color, we have like this bluish color here. I feel like I'm losing my voice now. I've been talking all day.
We will be one.
And then this one, it's got like a little wacky effect. As we got a little wackiness going on with the blade here. Oh, see? You didn't see that coming, did you?
You have hate. You have anger. Please don't use them.
So yeah, let me go ahead and cycle through the rest of these fonts until we get back to Kylo Ren, so you know what you're getting.
Master Yoda.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
Rogue Commander. Darkness. Your destiny lies with... You are no Jedi!
The General, to me she's royalty.
You've never fought anyone like me.
I am Revan!
I'm just gonna go ahead and activate this one. Got a nice purple blade there. Because who doesn't like Revan, right? If you don't like Revan, you could leave. No, I'm just kidding. You can stay. You have your own opinions.
The dark side. My master.
Yep, Star Killer in there.
Ahsoka Tano.
Codex of Light, Cyber Terror, Dark Ages, Hatred, Idol, Serenity, The Champion, The Dark Lord Revisited, The Learner, The Second, The Teacher, Whispers of Power.
I don't know why, but there's a Sailor Moon on there. So, and someone's actually made, I don't know who it was, but someone's actually made a Sailor Moon lightsaber hilt with the whole, yeah.
Spectrum.
It's interesting.
Battery level indicator.
This one's neat. So this is the battery level indicator. When you get to that, you're going to have a light on the blade. Obviously, when the light is towards the top. Now, mind you, I'm using a shorter blade here instead of the standard one that it came with, which is, I think, a 36-inch blade. So my battery is probably like 80% if I had to take a guess here. But if you're using the actual proper length of the blade that came with the box, if it's towards the top, you know, you're looking at like around 90%. As it tends to get lower and lower, that's where the battery starts to drain until you need to recharge. So just so you are aware, then I think we should get back to our default.
The map to Skywalker. We know you found it. And now you're going to give it to the First Order.
So yeah, back to that one. So let me go ahead and remove the chassis, just that way you guys could see the you know, the effects of that between the different styles there. There we go. And put that there. So we're just gonna go ahead and cycle
Hello, the Jedi.
with this one. So I good. With Rey, we got this one igniting yellow.
The dark sword. Ascension.
So all that does, it just matches up with whatever blade color you have going on, and of course style as well. And the LEDs here are simply just going to match and replicate what's being present on the blade style there. So very, very simple and easy indeed. So overall, it is a very nice lightsaber. I think this is great and a must-have for anyone that is a fan of either Ezra Bridger, or if you're someone who is collecting lightsabers from certain eras of Star Wars. So if you're trying to collect, again, like the different sabers from the live-action Ahsoka series, then this is one that you would add to your collection with Balin's Skull, Shin, and whatever else is available as well. But let me know what you guys think about this hilt in the comment section down below. I do thank you guys for tuning in to this review, and I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed it myself. Until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And on the off chance, if I don't upload anything this week, I do want to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas. If I do upload something, then I'll be sure to reinsure that same statement once again. But until then, you guys have a wonderful week. Thanks for watching, and always remember, may the Force be with you.